So if it begins with a vowel and ends with a consonant, we have A, N, S, W, R, and E. We're going to re-go over this. So it has to begin with a vowel, we have 2. End with a consonant, we have 4. And then we have 4 letters left. 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's going to be 8 times 4 factorial, which was what? Sorry? 192? Thank you. Then we had A and S adjacent. Adjacent meant side by side, right? Still together. In the order A and S. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It had to be in the order A, N, S. So it was 1, 1, 1. Then I had 3 letters left, 2 and 1, which I remember my multiplications. And then I also have to remember to do what? Times by 4, because there are 4 places, 3 spaces here, and then this one at the front. So 4. So it's going to be 1 times 4 factorial, which is 24. And then the last one says that have the letters A and S adjacent, but not necessarily in that order. So they have to be together, which changes the 1, 1, 1 to actually 3, 2, 1. I still have 3 left. 2, 1. Does it say at the front or in the middle or at the back? No, so it doesn't say that. I have to multiply by 4. So I get 3 factorial, 3, 2, 1 blast off, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, 4 factorial, which is? You can't close the door. No.
Seriously?
Truthfully.
It's because in the
All right, so here's the difference. We're going to look at a word, answia. Why did I do that? Because I didn't want to come up with a new word, and I wanted a doubling letter. So I did answer and went, I want to double. So I went answia. Enjoy it. It's a great word. So what do we do when we get a word first? Always, and if you do this every single time, I promise you on the test you will remember to divide by the factorials because there's double ups and triple ups, is to rewrite the word and stack letters when they double up or triple up, right? So we go A, N, S, and I keep writing them because I haven't doubled anything yet. W, E, oh, I have an extra A, so I'm going to stack it. Remember, I stack it twofold. I stack it for 2 reasons. 1, so I don't mess up if there's a double or triple, like miss one of them and then not use the factorial on the bottom right. Also, I stack them because then it reminds me that why am I stacking these? Oh, I need to do a 2 factorial in the denominator. Remember, to get rid of all those cases where they would look the same. Do you remember that from yesterday? Okay, so we treat the top like they're totally different, and then we just divide by the 2 factorials to get rid of all the situations where they are actually the same. So, the first one says without restrictions. So what do? I draw myself a line, and I put 2 factorial on the bottom before I even start the question. Why do I do that? Because there's 2 A's. So immediately, every single time I do a question where there's 2 A's or 2 S's or 3 M's, I'm going to write those factorials on the bottom before I even do the question because I know it needs it. All right? Then it says no restrictions. So I have no restrictions for these 6 blanks. So what could I put in the first blank? 6. Do I care if there's 2 A's that are the same? No, because this little 2 gets rid of all those situations. So it's going to be 6, then 5, then 1. So I could write 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial, couldn't I? What else could I write? Remember, guys? Where do we go? Or 2. It's 6p. How many blanks? 6. Or 5 because it's the same. So it should be 360?
Yes.
To the 720 divided by 2. You're going to do B, C, and D now. Try them out. B, C, and D. Remember, you need to divide by your 2 factorial. So it says it has to begin with an S. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide by 2 factorial because there's 2 A's. And we're not going to think twice. We're just going to do 2 factorial. Then it has to begin with an S. So I have to have an S here, which is one option. I used 1 letter up. Then how many do I have for here? 5, then 4, then 3, then and 1. Now please make sure to check that you're putting multiplication dots in between. If not, you're not showing your operations. It's literally, if you don't put the multiplication dots, it's the number 154,321 divided by 2 factorial, right? So if you don't have the multiplication dots, it's just a really large number. So we want to make sure we have those to show it. So it's going to be 120 divided by 2, so it should be 60. Begins with a vowel and ends with a consonant. This one changes between last one because I now have 3 vowels. I have A, E, and N, S, W. So if it begins with a vowel, I have A, and E for options. So that's 3. Do I care that the 2 A's are the same? No, because I'm getting rid of that with the 2 factorial in the denominator, right? So I treat them like they're all different. I have A, and E, which is 3. Then my consonant at the back, I have 3. N, S, and W, right? So remember, it changed from last time because last time I didn't have that extra A. So we do, that's not 2 and 4 this time, it's 3 and 3. Now I use up 1 letter and I use up 1 letter, so how many do I have left for this one? 4 then, 3, 2, 1. And to make it look better, I can go 3 times 3, which is 9, times 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. So I can go 4 factorial over 2 factorial. What's the answer to that? 108?
Yes.
Do we agree? Yeah. D says that have 3 letters A, N, S adjacent. Adjacent means side by side or attached together, right? And in the order A and S. So we have 2 factorial. On the top we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Catch. It has to be in the order A and S. A, N, S. How many A's do I have? 2. How many N's? 1. How many S's? 1. So I have to do 2 there. Oh, 2 A's, an N, and an S, right? Changes it up. Then I have 3 left, 2, 1. Then I have to multiply by 4. So I actually get 2 times 4 factorial over 2. The 2's actually cancel. And it's 24. Yep.
Do we have to put in the 2? Or could we just like cancel them out? Like,
Show your work.
I just put 1, 1, 1, and then 3, 2, 1.
Because you just ignored the 2 factorial?
Or because it cancels it out at the end, so why would I put it at the end if I don't need it at all?
It would only work in this situation specifically because you had the 2. If it wasn't a 2, if it was held something different, it wouldn't have worked.
Alright.
So yes, in this case, it would have worked for you. Okay, I want you guys to try A and B. Example 5. So here it says Frank, George, Hannah, Iris, Jacob, and Kim. How many people is that?
6.
6. Have playoff tickets for a hockey game in the adjacent seats A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, and A8. So there's 6 seats, right?
Yes.
Yes, there is. How many different ways could they sit together in seats A3 to A8? So that would literally just be 6 factorial, right? 720. Or 6p6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Visualizing, guys. Visualize the 6 seats, right? And then put them in order. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Either way, you get the 720. In B, it says George and Hannah are dating. And how many of the arrangements in A would they be sitting together? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to put George and Hannah together right here. How many options do I have for this first blank? 2, either George or Hannah, right? And then 1. I sit 2 people down now. How many do I have left? 4. Then 3. Then 2. Then 1. And that gets me times 5, because it doesn't say George and Hannah sitting at the front or the middle or the end. Now you have to read thoroughly because there will be questions where I'll say that they sit at the front and you're going to multiply by 5. I've told you this numerous times, right? So you have to read thoroughly. If it says they sit together at the front, or they sit together in the middle, or they sit together at the end, I would not multiply by 5. Yeah?
For A, all three of those, like if you say you just put 6p6, that'd be correct.
Well, you have to say equal 720, but yeah, would totally be correct. Because you have 6 people and you're picking 6 spots, and it's a permutation because you're ordering them, right? The moment you stand someone in a line, you're ordering them. If you stand someone to look at a picture, take a picture of them, you're ordering them. It's a permutation, right? So the moment you put the blanks, you're literally physically putting something there. So if you're putting textbooks on a shelf, and you're putting blanks, because that's the spots they're going to be on that shelf, it's a permutation, because you're ordering those textbooks, right? You're standing them in line. For parking cars, you're ordering them. Okay, so this would be 240. We could write it as 2 times 5 factorial, which is 240. Because 2 times 1 is 2, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off is 5 factorial. Just before the game, George and Hannah have a disagreement and decide not to sit together. In how many ways can this happen? So these are the standard of excellence questions where I force you to not put them together. How do we do that? Total minus them together, correct? What's the total ways we can arrange them? 720, we did above, right? What are the total ways we can put them together? 240. Did I set you up for this? Yes, I gave you all the numbers, right? So total, no restrictions. Was 6 factorial, or 720, right? We did that already. Then we have to minus off the ways they are together. Which equals minus 240, which equals what? 480. And that represents what? Yes, and this is sitting apart or not together. And this could be a written response question where they ask you to explain how you do this. Well, you would explain that you take all the ways that you could possibly set them together, right? Like sit all of them around each other, which is 720. And then if you subtract off all the ways that they are together, the opposite cases are the ones where they're not together. That's the way that you always do these ones. Yeah, yeah. Okay, next one. Example 6, go. So remember to stack C-A-N-A-D-A. So every single one of these questions should be divided by 3 factorial, right? Right off the hop. So this one begins with a vowel and ends with a consonant. Canada has 6 letters. If I begin with a vowel, I have 3 vowels. End in a consonant, I have 3. And then I have 4 letters left. 3, 2, 1. Very close to the previous one, but the previous one was divided by 2 factorial, so it's divided by 3. So it's going to be 9 times 4 factorial divided by 3 factorial, which is 36. Right? The way you can do it in your head is 4 factorial is just 4 times 3 factorial, right? So 3 factorials would cancel. 9 times 4 is 36. Okay. Must begin with C and D in that order. Before I even start the question, I'm going to put a 3 factorial on the bottom. Because that's common error, just forgetting to put the 3 factorial. Because you're so excited that you know how to do the question, that you start doing the question and forget to divide by the 3 factorial. And the answer will be there if you forget. Yeah. So, C and D in that order. How many C's are there? 1. How many N's? 1. How many D's? 1. They're hooked together. And then I go 3, 2, 1. And then I multiply by 4? No, because it says begin. It's actually, there's only one way to do it. You start with C and D in that order, and then it's all A's after, right? So you can't flop them and switch them and move them. It's not going to change. C and D must be together in that order. This one doesn't say what? At the front. So we're going to have 3 factorial underneath. Hook them together. 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to have to multiply by 4. So I actually get 4. Now this makes sense if you actually look at the cases, because you can go C and D, A would be one case, right? Or it would be C and D, AA, or AA, C and D, A, or AAA, C and D. There's really only 4 cases, because I'm hooking together all of the ones in the correct order that are different. Now this one says C and D must be together in any order. So I have 3 factorial underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They must be together, but it doesn't be in any order, so I can have 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you have your multiplication symbols. And then you can multiply by 4. So I'm going to get 3 factorial, 4 factorial, over 3 factorial. The 3 factorials cancel, so it's 24. Okay, example 7 is a little different. So example 7 says, Julie's home is 3 blocks north and 5 blocks west of her school. So if we start from her school, it's 3 blocks north, 1, 2, 3 blocks north, and 5 blocks west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be her home. And then you make it in a path like a block. So we have 5 blocks west, 3 blocks north, right? Now it says, how many routes can Julie take from home to school if she travels either south or east? So she can only go down or right, okay? And the reason why we ask that is so that you can't, like, circle this block 800, like, then you'd have infinite number of ways, right? If I could circle the block, it would be an infinite number of ways. So I'm going to show you how I can count the pathways so that you trust me that permutations work. Okay? But I'm not going to make you count them this way because it's outside of the scope of our curriculum. You don't have to count the pathways. You have to use permutations to get the pathways. So I'm just going to show you how it works so you trust me in the end. Do not draw it this way. It's way longer. So this is one path to get me to here. I can walk one path to get me here. Same one path to get me here. I only have one path to get me to each of those sections, right? I can just walk straight to them. Because I'm not allowed to walk down and then over and then back up, right? I'm only allowed to walk right or down. And then I have one path that can get me to these intersections. I can just walk down to them, correct? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sum up all the paths as I go along. You're not going to have to do it this way. I'm just proving to you that it works. So I have one path coming in and one path coming in, so that's 2. 2 paths coming in and 1, so that's 3. 3 paths coming in and 1, so that's 4. 4 and 1, so this is a sum of 5. 5 and 1, so this is 6 paths. 1 and 2, so this is 3 paths. 3 and 3, so it's 6. 6 and 4, so it's 10. 10 and 5, so it's 15. 15 and 6, so it's 21. 1 and 3, so it's 4. 6 and 4, so it's 10. 10 and 10, so it's 20. 20 and 15, so it's 35. 35 and 21, so it's, I want to go right a 6, but it's a 5. 56. Okay? Am I going to make you do it this way? No, because that's pathways, and actually doing it that way would have to be a different curriculum outcome. My curriculum outcome is that you have to solve permutations. Okay? So, why is this in the repetition one? How we can solve these always is we can count, this is a down path, this is another down path, this is another down path, correct? So I have 3 down paths, do I not? So that would be like having a D, a D, a D in a word. Then I have a right path, a right, a right, a right, and a right. So that would be like having R, 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 R. So that would be like having the word de-er. Really fancy word. Everyone's jealous of it. It's an awesome word. How would I arrange that if it had no restrictions? How many letters are in the word der? There's 8. There's 2 different ones, but there's 8 in total, right? You're both technically right, but there's 8 in total. So I would have 8 blanks. How many options would I have for the first one? 8, then 7, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because on the top, which is 8 factorial, on the top, remember, I treat the letters like they're all different every single time. I always do that, right? I treat them like they're all different. Like I can tell the difference between the 3 Ds and the 5 Rs. Yes? But what do I have to remember to do in the end? Divide by what? 3 factorial and 5 factorial. Now I'm just going to remind you with the calculator. So we can go 8 math factorial. That is not a factorial. 8 math factorial divided by, what was it? 3 and 5, right? 3 math factorial, 5 math factorial. I could type it in like that. And then I get this really large number. Is that number right? No. Because what did I not use? Brackets. So please, everyone, all the time when we're doing any question, you guys have to be plugging them into your calculator and seeing if you're getting them right. Because just because I'm getting them right doesn't mean you won't make a silly mistake. And what really, really, really sucks on a test is when I see that you know exactly what you're doing, you're just never punching them into your calculator in class because you're letting someone else, that's you or me, do it. And then you get the questions all wrong on the test. That would really stink. Your test mark would not show what you actually know. It would show that during class you chose not to ever do the work yourself in your calculator. So I need you to please, every single time, be typing them in and practicing as well, okay? So for me on this calculator, I would go alpha y equals enter and pull up the fraction so I don't need brackets. Because I can on this one. And I get my answer. If I didn't have this type of calculator, I would go bracket 8 math, bracket 8 math factorial divided by bracket. You don't really need it on the top, but I do it anyways to prove a point. 3 factorial, 5 factorial. It'll give me the same thing, which is not 806,400. Because this top one, it went 8 factorial, it divided by 3 factorial, and then it multiplied it by 120. Multiplied it by 5 factorial, which is not what I wanted it to do. Okay, so are we going to please practice with our calculators, okay? Because your calculator may not be at all like my calculator. So the answer is 56. And it matched my work, right? You're going to try example 8. If we do this first block, it's down, 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 right, right, right. So it's going to be down, 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 right, right, right. So that would be 7 factorial divided by 4 factorial, 3 factorial, right? This one is down, down, and then right, right, right. So this one would be 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial, 3 factorial. Now, we have to decide if we multiply or add these. So do I need these paths and these paths to get to the other side? Or could I just use these ones or these ones to get to the other side? You need both, so we need and, right? And when we and, what do? Multiply. Yeah.
Why did you make them separate like that? Why did you put like all the D's together and all the R's together?
Because it won't get you the same answer. Because you have to figure out the total number of paths here and the total number of paths here and then multiply them. Yeah. Can't put them together. So what does this get me? Did anyone do it right? The first one. 35 times 10, so 350. So you're doing numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In how many different ways can the letters of the word corporation be arranged so the vowels always come together? So we go C, O, R, P, O, R, A, T, I, O, N. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Divided by, I immediately have 3 factorial, 2 factorial in brackets, right? Because before I even do that question, I know every single time I'm going to have to divide by those. Now it says the vowels always come together. How many vowels are there? 5. There's 3 O's, 1 I, 1 A. So there's 5, so I'm going to hook 5 together. I have 5 for this one, then 4 vowels for this one. 3, 2, 1. I've used up 5 letters. I have how many left? 6. So I multiply by 6, 5. Ah, look at me. Oh, I really hope I caused that. See that?
Yeah, you press play at the start.
Awesome. Look at me. Good job, me. Okay. What do I have to do at the end then? Multiply by 7, because does it say together at the front or at the back or in the middle? Nope. So it's going to be 5 factorial, 7 factorial over 3 factorial, 2 factorial, which is A, B, C, or D? C? Okay, perfect. And this one's just a plain old one. How many arrangements can be made from the word engineering? Is there any restrictions on it? Nope. So we have E, N, G, I, N, E, E, R, I, N, G. A whole bunch of doublings and triplets. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So on the top I'm going to have 11 factorial. Because if there's no restrictions, I can just go 11 times 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? On the bottom I'm going to have 3 factorial, 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 2 factorial. What do we get for an answer? B? Do we agree? Yes, no, maybe so. Did anyone type it in the calculator? Is it B or not?
It's B. 100% B.
Oh, no, never mind, yeah, I didn't put it on.
Is it B? You guys are killing me here. 4 over 2 times 2 times 6 times 6. I'm being lazy.
Oh, you're right.
That looks like B to me.
Yeah, I did.
It's B!
4, of course, so we reduce that.
Woohoo! Great times. Okay. 3. Determine the number of ways the word kitchen can be arranged if the letters K, C, N must be together in the order K, C, N. Does kitchen have any doubling or tripling letters? No, so we're not going to have to divide by anything. So the bottom's going to have nothing. It has to be in the order K, C, N. So it's going to be 3. Nope. It's going to be 1 times 1 times 1 times 4, 3, 2, 1. Does it say in the front or middle or back? No. So it's going to equal 5 factorial, which is 120. Then this one must be together, not necessarily in that order. So we're going to hook them together. Then 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 times 5. So I get 3 factorial, 5 factorial, which is 720.